The word Ajanta conjures up before one's vision a dream of beauty, of caves hidden in the midst of a lonely glen with a streamlet flowing down below, caves that were scooped out into the heart of the rock so that the pious Buddhist monks wanting a retreat from the busy world could live and pray there, caves that they embellished with architectural details with a mastery over the chisel, with sculpture of no mean order, and above all with paintings of infinite charm. Rolling hills of the Maharashtra plateau encompass them, and the streamlet Vaghora, after a precipitous fall, cuts a gorge in front, later to emerge into an open valley. Looking down from the top of the opposite hill, from a spot called the viewpoint, one sees the hill with the caves spread out in a curve, and the caves themselves like dark recesses punctured into the rock. The caves of Ajanta are situated on the northern fringe of the Maharashtra plateau, in district Aurangabad of the present-day Maharashtra state. The height of the caves is roughly 430 meters above mean sea level. They are approached by road either from Aurangabad or from Jalgaon. There are about 30 caves excavated in two phases. In the first phase, caves 9, 10, 12, 13 and 15A were carved under the rule of the Satavahanas between 1st century BC and 1st century AD. It is also known as the Hinayana phase, when the Buddha was not painted or carved in his image. In the second phase, the rest of the caves were excavated under the rule of the Vakatakas during late 5th century AD. It is also known as the Mahayana phase, when the Buddha was painted and carved in his image. The only reference to the caves in ancient literature is that by Huan Sang, the celebrated Chinese pilgrim who stayed in India for 15 years in the first half of the 7th century. Though he did not visit Ajanta, his description is interesting. In the east of this country was a mountain range, ridges one above another in succession, tiers of peaks and sheer summits. Here was a monastery, the base of which was in a dark defile, and its lofty halls and deep chambers were quarried in the cliff and rested on the peak. Its tiers of halls and storied terraces had the cliff on their back and faced the ravine. This monastery had been built by Achalo of West India. Within the establishment was a large temple above 100 feet high, in which was a stone image of the Buddha above 70 feet high. The image was surmounted by a tier of 7 canopies, unattached and unsupported, each canopy separated from the one above it by the space of 3 feet. The walls of this temple had depicted on them the incidents of Buddha's career as Bodhisattva, including the circumstances of his attaining Bodhi until final passing away. All great and small were here delineated. Outside the gate of the monastery, on either side north and south, was a stone elephant. Time was when the Ajanta paintings were frequently compared with other paintings like the Chinese, early Renaissance and so on. It is now realized that the Ajanta art, born and nurtured on the indigenous soil and inspired by an indigenous religion, has a claim to be judged in its own right, and its appreciation need not rise and fall by external comparisons.